Hello, welcome to another Zero AD video, and this one is a little bit of a late shout out. Sorry, Alistair Findlay. That I'm kind of re-evaluating how I do my tutorials, or at least do a series on how to defeat the AI. Because if you're a new player, you at least want to defeat the AI before heading out and try your strategies on other players, right? So I think that's a good thesis to start with. In order for you to be comfy planning out your strategies, you at least have to know how to defeat the AI, because it's just difficult for new players to defeat. Okay, especially me. By experience, I can actually say that. Now, I'm going to be dividing my tutorial into phases. So that means I will be focusing my first tutorial on phase 1, the next one on phase 2, what to do on phase 2, and then phase 3, because that's the most generic way I know of how to defeat the AI. Now, there's a lot of ways of defeating the AI, but you will be going with my particular style of defeating the AI. Okay, so you have just have to ride with me. Now, you can actually have your own strategy, develop your own style after this, just as long as I have accomplished my purpose, that you know how to defeat the AI. We will just be starting with easy, I guess, because that's something. Oh, sorry about that. So let's just choose a skirmish map, not a random map, but with default settings and things like that. And I think the best map for this is Corinthian Isthmus. 1-on-1. I'm just going to choose my color, green, because that's my color, you know. And let's just choose a difficulty for the Petrobot. Very easy, I guess. Well, it attacks. I think it attacks. Or let's just go with easy. Give a new challenge. It's very difficult for me to commentate and play at the same time, so who knows, maybe the AI will actually defeat me as well, even though I can actually go with a very hard one on my own. But let's just start with the default resources. Everything is default except for the AI, which is only set to easy, okay, on this map. Okay, starting it out, let's just put our women with some farmsteads, being near to the nearest food source, and send another one. Okay, so this is how I started, right? Farmsteads, and to the nearest trees, let's go with a storehouse. It's actually this near. Let's choose this one. Okay, and to make sure that these guys will go to the trees next and not the stone, I'm going to shift right click here, and they will be gathering stones. Now, these are the most basic. Let's just send the horsemen for another, gathering some chickens or sheep, or yeah, we're going with the default map, so you must be following here. If the scout isn't doing anything, or the cavalry isn't scouting, it's better off hunting. This one, storehouse, because the wood upgrade is almost immediately required. Okay, just click on that right just after building it. Also in here, on the farmstead, it's debated whether you will upgrade to the wicker baskets, and some will argue that if it's more than 5 patches that you can see, it's better to upgrade. Or if you... Oh, sorry about that. I actually messed up my resource count here. Nah. Yeah, let's restart. Okay, let's restart. Messed up my first tutorial, and I'm not going to cut it. I am not going to edit that one. The default resource is actually low. Not very low. It's low. Okay. So we still are. We're still going to get with the default exercise, right? No matter what civilization you got there, you're still going to a farmstead, and the soldiers are going build a storehouse first, and the cavalry for the meat. The point is, these soldiers are going for the wood, and let's just send one woman, because I am a little bit OCD with the 5 women count, the batch train count, you know that, and then 5 more women for the wood. Okay, so I think that's a fair share of what's going on. So storehouse, upgrade for the wood, and we don't have sufficient wood. Now that's kind of amazing. I think I used the wrong low resources. Okay, so that means the wicker baskets upgrades they have to wait, because most of the time when you get this upgrade, by the time these women pop out, you're ready to build another house or something, because we are going to have shift click on the women, which are still kind of slow gathering their food because we have very low resources. Now I think I messed up the default settings, but given our situation, working with low resources is actually kind of better, right? And do we have enough food? Yep, we do. And okay, so we are actually going with the village phase drill. Now what is the village phase drill? I did that tutorial before, but it's more of a concentrate the first phase with wood, food, and getting women. Now why? Okay, let's go in detail about that. Wood and food are your foundational resources. That which means almost everything in the game costs wood and food, or has at least a wood cost and food cost to them. Most, if not all. And number 2, by the time we get to phase 2, or wood and food is actually required to get to phase 2. Okay, so we are getting as much wood and food by the time we get to phase 2 or in later phases, so that we have a steady stream of the required resources to get our game going. Now we need women. Why? Because they're the only units that cost purely food, which is kind of unrealistic when the women realize that they're being paid to get what they are paying for. What I mean by that is you're buying them for food, and then you're going to use them to gather food. They feel they're going to be a little bit offended by that. Okay, so wood, especially for the houses in phase 1, getting our wood upgrade so that the wood gathering is actually faster, and we will be doing this until maybe population 30 or 40, and at least we have our village phase buildings set up. Okay, I'm doing this very slowly, right? It's on purpose. I'm going for wood, food, and population. Food resources steady, wood resources steady, kind of steady-ish. Now depending on your speed, if you're going faster, you will plot your way or plan ahead on how fast you're actually going to do this. Now take note, farmsteads currently, the best strategy for them is by sending them near the civic center, because that's the safest place for the women to farm. Also a tip, use men for mining. That's their best asset. Women for food gathering, vegetation, and the cavalry, well, that's their only job. They're best at meat gathering. And let's just build another storehouse right here. House, because there's another set of women right here. We will build another storehouse here for the wood, because just look at that food income. Okay, storehouse right here, keeping it steady, and the most efficient. Okay, a lot of pros say that you should build with 3 women or something, because that's the most efficient way of doing it. If you're exceeding that number, it's much better to build 2 houses like that, 2 buildings like that, because it's faster. I don't know, they know the maths, so I'm going to rely on that advice. Okay, and we're having a little bit of overpricing with the food. Yeah, this guy's done. Maybe we can use him for scouting purposes. I'm shift clicking around the map and then making this cavalry end to the base, just in case, maybe, so it doesn't actually stay idle. Okay, let's see here. So we have, I think, enough buildings. Yes, we have reached the town phase. Now, this village phase drill of building food, wood, and women for the sake of having a steady stream of food and wood by the time we get to, let's say, town phase. And by the way, this is not recommended. I'm going to, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cancel that. Building a barracks first is recommended before you click up. Why? Because we need to pump out units while it's stacking up to phase 2. As you can see, it takes a lot of time, and we are not going to be able to mass produce some units when we are taking up. So we need a place or another building to get our soldiers running, and that's the barracks or something. That's where we get our more wood, wood gatherers, wood choppers, and whatnot. Okay, so you actually have to practice this. I actually made it onto 30 population because I was talking more than I was actually plotting, and I don't know how long this one is, but if you can make it gather wood, food, and women, or maybe a mix of soldiers if you can, up to population 50, that's the most recommended one. Okay, so this is to practice. The phase 1 tutorial of defeating the AI is to practice how to create a steady stream of economy, especially the wood and food, because by the time you get to phase 2, I'll be teaching you guys to shift to the other resources and the things that we'll be doing. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video.